Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, let me sincerely extend to you my apology for shifting this event to this afternoon. I know that you were all looking forward to the morning's program, but unfortunately, it's a short week because of the long Easter break. And of course, there's a lot of activities too in Suba. And particularly, as you are all aware, because of our involvement in climate change, we have so many visitors coming, and we also have a training being undertaken in Suba. I'm part of that training. Even the Honorable Prime Minister is part of the training as we prepare to build for the COP23 events coming up in May and the main event coming up in November this year. You are all aware of how climate change affects us. Climate change is a reality. It's already happening, and it's affecting us, particularly in the Fiji Islands and the small Pacific Island states. And we therefore need to be advocating strongly on behalf of our communities and make our presence felt in the international arenas. And this is one of the main agendas for Fiji and, of course, for the small Pacific Island states for this year's Conference of the Parties, which will be held in Bonn in Germany in November later this year. But it's always good to be here. But I wanted to be here simply due to a few reasons. One, rural development has become a passion for me after being involved in rural development for the last 8 years or so, starting from my days as Commissioner Northern, as alluded to by Mr. Talifo. I've always argued that there are huge opportunities for rural Fijians to contribute towards growth, not only in terms of economic development, but social development as well. And for this to happen, we just need to continue to work together in partnership. And that partnership is what we are witnessing here today. And that is one of the reasons why I also wanted to be here. Secondly, with all due respect to the menfolk, we need to support our women. And of course, they are doing well and even doing better in so many ways. And they need our support, and we need to provide for our women and create the environment for them as well in support of the excellent work in as far as development is concerned, which they are undertaking together with our partners. Another reason why I am also here is for me, after being in Vanua Levu for a few years as Commissioner Northern, I've always looked at the opportunities here in the Western Division. I always say to my staff that the West is strategic, for so many obvious reasons. You have the international gateway in Nandi, the airport. You've got tourism as one of the main drivers of the economy, and there are huge opportunities available in terms of marketing opportunity. If you look at the statistics for Fiji, the rural-urban drift, most of the people that migrate from rural Fiji, they move to the Western Division for these obvious reasons. But unfortunately, for some people who are living in the Western Division, they do not realize this advantage that they have over the most of other rural population in Fiji. So for you who are in the Western Division, you should consider yourselves fortunate to be here in the West, and I hope that you will realize the great potentials that are there. Just a few weeks back, in fact, after the recent Parliament sitting in March, I called a few parliamentarians to my office in Rewanga, the Agriculture Office, the Honorable Ruben Nandalo, the Honorable Osea Nangamu, the Honorable Viam Pillay, and I told them that we are drawing together what we call a rural transformation plan. We've been working on it behind the scenes for quite a while, and I, without being biased to the other three geographic regions, but I told them, let's start with the West. Because you are influential, you are very close to your communities. I want us to start in the West. So you are all listening, and we will come again to you. But for your information, ladies particularly, and the men as well, this Friday, before I go to my script, this Friday we will be launching a book called Kanavinaka. It's about contemporary Fijian cuisine. And hopefully with that book, bread, the chefs will be able to utilize local food in their menus. We need to advocate. People come, they leave Australia and they leave New Zealand and they leave the States and to come to Fiji, and yet we give them French fries and but what's happening to our kumala and what's happening to our uvi and tavioka and uto and bele and wata and so many other things. This is what the Kanavinaka book is all about. It will be launched this Friday at USP in the evening, and hopefully after that I've also informed my staff that following that launching we will also do some small initiatives on maybe adopting a farmer, adopting a cluster, and women in agriculture and youths in agriculture, so that we can realize the potentials that are there in rural Fiji. I just wish to encourage all of you, again, before I go into the specifics of the project, this is not just another project. We want projects to be sustainable, and we want projects to grow. We start small, and we, over the years, through a incubation program or whatever we will call it, we want these programs to grow. Unemployment is an issue in Fiji. But why don't we become self-employers? And I hope that the Tutikinas will demonstrate this. After 5 years from today, I will come back here and see that you are creating employment in this part of rural Fiji. But let me say that the government has a high priority on the involvement of women in all aspects of the economy, and this especially applies to rural areas. As I travel around the country, I am impressed by how much the ladies of our villages and towns are contributing to the economic life and the growth of our nation. As a wise man said some years ago, women hold up half the sky, and I must say that I am very glad that they do. Otherwise it would fall on us. So I am particularly pleased to launch this PGS Village Ladies Chicken Project, which will provide economic empowerment to women, initially in the 9 villages in the Coral Coast and the 5 villages in the Singatoka area. 60 incubators, I'm told, will be made available for these areas that I've talked about. And 5 ladies in each village will receive an incubator and run a cottage industry producing day-old chickens, eggs and meat. midbirds for sale and to add to their family's diet. We are using the Jungli Murgi breed, which is a hardy type of chicken, which fits well in the village environment and requires little feeding. They forage for food and eat insects and pests and weed seeds and contribute to an improved environment. The incubators are powered by electricity, and the one requirement is for the 24-hour power, which is now widely available through the work of your government. And one incubator uses the same electricity as the light globe, so they are not expensive to run. The incubators are largely automatic, but water has to be injected into the plastic box every day to keep the humidity up. But our training will also show you how to do that. We expect each incubator can produce up to around 40 chicks each every month, and we know that there is a ready market for these in the local markets. The project ladies will also keep some of their chicks and raise them as layers, which produce eggs for sale, and male birds which will be raised as midbirds, which can also be sold in the local markets. You have to be advised that you are to keep the lids closed so that you can maintain a constant temperature, so you need to keep the children out of the incubators for a while. But this is just the beginning, and a further 140 incubators will be placed with village ladies in rural areas, and over the next few weeks. A total of 200 cottage industries will be underway following this launch. This will set an example for cottage industry economic empowerment, extending the work of other initiatives in this area that are provided and supported by your government. My ministry will provide fertile eggs to kick off the first of these few hatchings, and the ladies will provide eggs from their own chickens to make the business sustainable after that. The livestock division of my ministry, the Ministry of Agriculture, will provide training for the ladies in running their chicken business and help in also setting up the chicken sheds in their respective villages. We are grateful once again to the Jeff Small Grants Program of the UNDP for funding this project. It is a good example of what can be done with small grants and the right and kind of development framework, and especially the focus on development of women's economic empowerment, which I want to recognize and express appreciation. And I congratulate the Warwick Resort chain for their support in this initiative by providing training venues and meals and encouragement for village ladies of the participating Coral Coast villages. It is good to see this kind of outreach by private enterprises to the villages in their areas. I would also like to mention in passing that this initiative is a further extension of the participation guarantee system project known as the PGS, which is an initiative of the Australian Centre for International Agriculture Research, and which has helped farmers to form groups that supply high-quality vegetables to the resorts and replace imported vegetables. The 5 existing PGS groups have already provided some 45 tons of premium tomatoes to resorts in Suva and the Singatonga coast that have earned their farmer members $250,000 so far. This PGS movement is a way ahead for smallholder agriculture in Fiji and has provided a useful model for smallholder farmer groups in Fiji. My thanks goes to Dr. Rob Eskin-Smith, who is the project leader but could not be here with us today, and to David Hicks, who has organized the project as the national coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, I once again congratulate the ladies who are about to start their journey as cottage business owners, and I wish them every success and enjoyment in their new role as business owners. I have now much pleasure in officially launching the Village Ladies Chicken project of the PGS. Pinakabagaleo. Thank you. Danabay.
A program that was devised by Dr. Rob Smith and David Hicks ensured there was a structure to ensure the longevity of the program. Well, the relationship is built on assistance from Warwick Resorts and Hotels and Resorts to ensure that Warwick Hotels and Resorts develop strategies for the community